What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. On this episode, we're going to do another split Unbreakable discussion. Probably be the last one for a little while, unless anybody has any ideas for further ones. This one is going to be about where I can see the franchise going. So there's definitely going to be one more movie. M. Night said that already, that there's going to be at least one more. I think they'll probably try and milk 2 out of it, just because Split was so highly regarded, and I mean, so was Unbreakable. It was ahead of its time when it came out. So there'll definitely be at least one more movie. So where do I see them going with one more? All right, well, Split ends with Bruce Willis in the diner hearing the news story about the Horde and how they don't know if the suspect is alive or dead. And then somebody brings up Mr. Glass. You know, you've seen it by now, I'm sure. So I have that leads me to believe, and they better do it soon because they can't wait too much longer. Bruce Willis ain't no spring chicken no more. So I think it's going to be about David Dunn possibly seeking out the Horde to try and take him down. But it can't be as clean cut as that. So Mr. Glass has to be involved somehow. So maybe before David finds the Horde, Mr. Glass finds the Horde and starts manipulating him or something. I totally see somehow Mr. Glass and the Horde teaming up to take on David Dunn. So I can definitely totally see them going with, maybe he doesn't seek out the Horde and he's just hearing the news story or whatever, and then Mr. Glass is the one that brings the two of them together. Now that makes more sense to me, that Mr. Glass doesn't directly come to the Horde like, oh, work for me or help me take out this guy or anything like that. I think that Mr. Glass is going to somehow manipulate the two of them into a confrontation, so he can be like the arch villain, the Lex Luthor, pitting Superman up against Doomsday or Metallo or pick or any villain of your choosing. So yeah, I think it's going to be where Mr. Glass is kind of masterminding the whole thing, pushing the two of these two to fight each other. Of course, David's going to win. I mean, come on, he's the hero. But it would not be an M. Night movie without some sort of a twist ending. And what could be a better twist ending than to say to David, this isn't the only other super being out there. Or Mr. Glass says he has knowledge or has made contact or has already killed a couple of other superpowered people or something, recruited a few. I think it's going to end where this world is now opened up to David even more, where, hi, you thought it was just us 3. Well, there's a whole shitload more you don't know. And it would be funny because it would be Sam Jackson playing like the Nick Fury role, but a evil version of that, to where he's kind of opening up this larger world to the fans and to the main character. I like that idea. I can totally see that being the twist of the next movie. But a lot of people are going to predict that. A lot of people are going to predict similar things. So that's also going to factor into M. Night's storytelling. Even though he said he's already got a 10-page outline, he knows how the story's going to go already. You know, things can change between now and whenever that gets made. Hopefully it's soon. And I do think they're going to try and milk one more movie out of it. And maybe it'll be about Mr. Glass having a superpowered team of bad guys. So David needs to go out and find his own superpowered team. But that's a little bit on the not realistic point, like where these movies are like really grounded in reality. So I think that will kind of take you out of it a little bit more. Unless there was one more big final twist for the Shyamalan universe. Dun dun dun! That all of his best movies, at least, are all in the same world. The same universe. Or they're all connected. Now, you can't really do that with a lot of them. Like, The Happening, which absolutely sucked, was terrible. But that's like an end-of-the-world event. That would be, unless it took place after all this. You know what I mean? The same goes for Signs. I actually liked Signs, but it can't really take place in the same universe as these things because, yes, there is somebody with some sort of power. It seems like somebody can predict the future in that movie. And it also makes sense that the person who does that in Signs, I don't want to spoil it, got that power through a really big traumatic event. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go see my last video where I explain how how the characters of Split and Unbreakable got their powers. So, but Signs doesn't work because, it's alien invaders. How would that not be mentioned unless it took place after? But then how are super people not mentioned? I don't know. But you could tie in the Sixth Sense and just say that kid, through some traumatic event when he was young. I don't remember that movie totally because it's been so long since I've seen it. But maybe that's how he got that power to see dead people. Who knows? But I can see Shyamalan trying to tie in other movies or, make them kind of semi-sequels or connect to this movie somehow so he can get his own kind of shared universe already set up, and then maybe he does more movies going forward. So maybe the fourth movie would have to do with more of that. Maybe David just getting the kid from the Sixth Sense, or two other people to help him fight Mr. Glass and the Horde, or whoever else Mr. Glass finds to recruit. That's where I can see them going with a fourth movie. So third movie would be David versus the Horde and Mr. Glass. And then a fourth movie, if they did it, would kind of be more like Mr. Glass getting a bunch of people to go after David one by one or whatever. And then David having to try and find help. Something like that. I could totally see it playing out that way. All right, that's it for this video. You got anything you want to say about this one or the other Split Unbreakable videos? Sound off down below. You want to see me do any more videos about this stuff? Let me know what you want to see, and I'll do my best to put together a little discussion for you. Other than that, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. That's it for this video, and I will see you next time.